Boa noite todos. Welcome back to Tom Plays EUIV Universalis 4 for absolute beginners. We are back with Portugal. Ooh. And it looks like we've just lost our heir. Nasty. We've got a choice between losing stability and losing prestige. Might go for stability and then try to immediately get it back by sacrificing administrative power. So, stability and expansion, and we'll just boost it. I do kind of need stability. Right, so we have spent most of the game up to now building up our money, in effect. Preparing for a rebellion there, aren't we? If we haven't already had it, we really could do with another leader. France is trying to sow unrest. Yeah, we do need to have a look at France. So yeah, I mean, we really need to be putting this money to good use now. We could do with building more trade ships, which would also help with the money. France is on military level 21. We're only on military level 20. But we do need to keep a careful eye on them. Who are their allies? Right, we could get Spain to join in theory. Ferrara, Friesland and Mossy. Why doesn't the Commonwealth want to join in? Because it's a distant war. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Right, so Spain won't join in unless... Let's start building a spy network in France. I'm thinking it might not hurt to have a claim on some of their territory, even though they're a bit of a way away. In fact, I do wonder if we're actually going to be able to claim anything. It seems to imply that we could, so that would be worth doing. Good to see that Great Britain is having issues. Always nice to know. Right, Scandinavia, Russia. Bukhara. Need to think about this with our colonising over here. At some point we're going to want to take these areas as well, but we need a decent army. So primarily we need navies that can transport our entire armies. So the Pacific Navy here is capable of doing that, but it probably isn't powerful enough in itself. But yeah, if we're going to have a war up there, we're going to need most of our army up there. So I wonder if it would be worth just splitting this group in two, because things seem fairly peaceful down here. And I might just ship them off to this colony up here to start with, so we can have a think about these. Okay, colony in Hichitamas. So that's probably, thinking about it, probably up in Mexico. Yeah, there we go. Right, so we want to just keep making colonies as close to Spain as possible. Hopefully our colonial nations are also doing the same, but if nothing else, yeah, they're making one there, so we couldn't have made one there, I don't think. Even though it would be nice to get into this area. Yep, no problem, you can pass through our lands, I do not mind. But yeah, so we'll just get on with that in order to help them out. At some point we might be moving these elsewhere, but for now we're fine. But yeah, very interested in France at the moment. Right, we've done New Portugal. I'm just trying to improve relations with all of our vassals. And if you remember, we also want to finish making manufactories and start making some universities, for which we're going to need considerably more money. So one thing we could do to get that money is to start making more trade ships, which would be good if we possibly can. You know, I might actually make some ships in Portugal for a change. Don't seem to do that very often anymore. Right, so now on frigates. Should just check actually, we're not about to... We're about to gain a new diplomatic technology. I'm not sure if it gives us 2 deckers, which are a heavy ship. Oh, Travical, I think that's, yeah. So we're not actually about to improve our frigate technology anyway. But nonetheless, part of me almost wonders if we should try to make a trade fleet so big that we could keep trading during war. But then we're not at war that often. Might be a bit more later on. It's not that common an occurrence. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it is about getting this bottom line up. We are gaining a lot of money, but we still need to build manufactories and we still need to build universities. So we only need 4 more manufactories, which I might build entirely in this area if they don't all have manufactories already. I do think we should try to build, at the very least, a university in one of our most developed provinces. Normally that would be Lisboa, but they've already been a birthplace of colonialism, so I'm wondering about Porto, because they're pretty highly developed, I believe. So it might be a good place to start a university, just in case there's any chance of us becoming the founder for the Enlightenment. Okay, so we want a monetary one. I think we're probably looking at monopoly, commercial monopoly. So we've got 30% mercantilism. I think that's pretty good. That is pretty good. That should help us quite a bit with gaining money. I'm not sure where we're going to send these ships. I haven't really kept track of where our existing trade fleets are going. Might go to one of the more distant ones, even if it isn't as good. Simply on the grounds that we probably don't have a trade fleet there already. Okay, now this one, to be fair, is... Caribus. We've already taxed Caribus, so I'm going to leave it be. Just thinking, no one can really get at this apart from these nations, so we should probably move along the coast. So I might go here, because I know that... Ooh, hang on. Just join these together. I know that there's quite a way west we can go, especially as it does look like Russia hasn't actually moved that far. There's all this area still available to colonise, so especially if we start bringing more colonists over here, because it looks like we've nearly finished in Mexico, we might be able to make quite some progress, although we're possibly going to favour Indonesia rather than here, especially given our mission tree, which we do need to look at again. But nonetheless, let's state this, because these lands again are going to stay ours. They're not going to be a colonial nation, so we want them cored. We also want to convert them if we possibly can, so we'll start off on that. We'll land our whole army here for now. I don't know if we're going to need conquistadors to uncover these terra incognita lands. Right, let's show charity. That's generally a better option. Plus, you know, marginally more ethical. Okay. Just thinking as all the other possible colonisable lands disappear, there might be more interest in these. So it's worth us trying to claim them, certainly trying to claim the coast where we can. We've still got a bunch of lands to colonise in Africa, but we've more or less locked those off. So I don't think we have a lot of competition, but it doesn't mean we're going to carry on doing colonies for a while yet. Which, if you remember, is actually costing us quite a lot of money. Normally it would be six ducats a month. So I mean, we're making much more than that now. It's the joys of being a trading nation and a colonising nation, but at the same time, an extra 6 ducats a month could make quite a difference. I'm not looking to improve our advisors just yet, apart from the military one, which is already at +3, mainly because we do need to make these buildings. I do need at least one university. I suppose there's not as much hurry on the manufactories now. We should probably do the universities. So I'll probably do Porto, then Lisboa. I'm not sure how much they cost actually. University, not as much as manufactories, so let's build the Porto one. And we're going to want to sort of stagger them, because enlightenment will start everywhere we've got a university, and then it will start to spread to the nearby provinces. So I do want Porto and Lisboa simply because they're really developed, but from then on we'll maybe put them more inland. We'll see. I don't want to make too many universities because I'm not really convinced they have enormous advantages, not like the manufacturers do. Not actually sure they do anything, in fact. Oh, local development cost is less, and the possible number of buildings, so they at least don't take up a building slot. Okay, so we are starting to get our ships coming through, which is good. We can launch this new trade fleet, which will hopefully make us even more profit. Should arguably make a few of these. But of course the universities also take time to build, as well as costing money. But yeah, basically we want to be able to support a massive army and a massive navy. So the more money we've got coming in, the better. Of course the navy will be partly made up of these trade ships, so we don't want to overdo it to the point where we've got no room for a navy before our force limit. Although I don't think we need to worry tremendously. I miss Lisboa here. I think I must have done. Because I think our force limit is now 185 ships. So, yeah. Military is not bad at least. We're quite close to our force limit on the military, which is the one you do get charged the most for going over. Right, so we'll do a mission, protect trade. So we've got much more profit in some of these places, but we do also have ships there already. How about Malacca, actually, and the Moluccas? I don't think I've sent any ships to any of those yet. Come on, Moluccas. Might have done. So we'll still tell them to hide in times of war, but yeah. I'm actually wondering if we should do another one. To be fair, arguably, if we're going to send them to that area of the world, it might make a lot more sense to actually, you know, build an equipment in that area of the world. So maybe we should look at making a second fleet actually here. Gonna be 5. Ah, Rebel Uprising. Yes, I think... Are we expecting this? I think this is why we haven't moved our army. Yeah, there they are. So this puts us neck and neck with another green nation, who apparently has been crushing Fulo. Which almost makes me wonder if we could vassalise them. Doesn't look like it. Might be able to eventually, as they get whittled down, possibly. Because they've been vassalised, haven't they? But yeah, generally we're getting past the point where we're going to be able to vassalise people anyway, as everyone gets a bit more developed. So I can't really hope for that too much. We're probably going to be stuck with conquest from now on. Which is fine. So how are we doing with our spy in France? We should crack down on heresy. Especially in Dagwon. Right, so we've got 2 places we can make claims on. Have to admit I don't know where either of them are. I think they might be islands. Yeah, there's arguing. That's 1. So Fernando Po is presumably an island somewhere? Let's just press the F key. Let's just see where it is, see if it's actually any use. Oh, it's this one. Actually, yeah, that one is quite nice because that's quite close to our existing stuff. It's probably a better option than the other. Right, so to be fair, we probably only need the 1 because the main thing I want to take from France is colonial lands. So I suppose the big question, well, to start with, maybe we should put down this uprising before we do anything else. I would say let's just gain the 5 prestige. Our prestige is dropping a little. Okay, we've got an uprising. How close are we? Could be any minute. Pause. Right, so we're going to put this down. I'm hoping once this is down we'll have peace for a while and we can move this army up towards France. It's going to be a little bit risky attacking France, I have to say. I'm not keen, certainly not doing it without Spain. But if we can get Spain to join in, I think the colonies we should be fine. We don't have a lot of colonies. And I'm hoping I can take what remains of their colonies away from them. Which should mean that we then gain an advantage. Apparently any of these places will do. Effectively get an advantage over Spain. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if we can get the remaining French colonies, because in the Americas I feel like we and Spain are kind of neck and neck, any colonies we can take from France for our own colonial nations should put us in the lead and mean that if we have a future war with Spain, which I suspect is coming, because when I checked before it said that we had lands they desired. So let's just improve relations again. You see here? Their opinion of us is 0. I mean, that is pretty bad for an ally. So if we can get them to join in against France, which I think we may really need, I wonder if a Regency Council will stop that from happening. But then the age is 13, so we shouldn't be too far away from them being able to join in anyway. But yeah, I'd love to like get one last bit of our alliance with Spain so that we can attack France. Spain may well gain some land as well. I'm not necessarily against that, although in some ways I'd rather screw them over because I think we're going to end up fighting them. Is this a military one? Yeah, a little risky, I think. I wonder if we should hold on. I might think about it because it would be useful. But but only if we can't get the technology boost in time. Okay, so was that this colony? That was this colony. Great, right, well let's take this one next. To keep it up, keep up the pressure. State it, core it, convert it. As always. Cool. Right, so another thing we should possibly look at doing is making more troops. So okay, where do we stand? Is it possible for them to join in? It is. It is possible, and their allies are not that impressive. So I suppose the other question is, do we want to try to get to our force limit? Because we do have room for some more troops. But that will reduce our manpower, of course. So what do we have? 23, 4, 12, 10, 2, 9. Well, if we make this 23, 4, 12 as well, actually we probably can't do that, but we could get 2 more cannons, a couple more cavalry, probably not that useful now, and a bunch more infantry. And we'll see what it looks like then. Oh, getting a new merchant. Okay, I do want to just keep an eye out over here. So head back to the trade map. Now I think we've got this covered. So we've got a merchant in Australia who forwards stuff over here to the Moluccas. And we've then got another merchant here who's forwarding trade to the Cape of Good Hope, which is here. Yeah, so we've got a pretty good line there, so I think realistically we can just go with whatever they suggest. So I'm guessing another colonial nation has reached 10 provinces, possibly the last merchant we're going to get. Not sure. Try to keep an eye out, and it looks like, well, Polynesian Triangle would have been a good one, but we apparently haven't discovered it yet. Interesting, so let's go for Zanzibar. So we're going to send a merchant and we're just going to have them transfer trade power. And that should give us a little bit more money, again, which we desperately need. Okay, so I'm going to pull all of these into Lisboa, see what we've got. Wouldn't mind having these two neck and neck if possible, but we may not have the force limit to achieve that. It's not a bad thing, because every bit of manpower we don't spend building troops now, it's a bit of manpower that, oh, it should be over there, that can be used to repair our armies. I'm just conscious that this is quite dangerous. Okay, so 23, 4, 12, and we've got 15, 4, 11. I thought I'd done all the cannons. We need one more cannon. And we have got room for 7 more troops. Okay, I'll do one more cannon, and I will do 6 regular infantry. Hopefully that'll do it. Okay, I pretty much expect you guys to deal with that one. You've certainly got enough troops to deal with it. I guess that's still a fallout from the war we did a while back. Okay, Sakalavan separatists from Kilwa. You know what, that's fine. If Kilwa loses all this land and I lose my 2, I can live with that. I'm just going to leave Kilwa to deal with them. They have far more to lose than I do. So we know, in fact, if a cannon hasn't been built yet, it looks like it may have been. Oh no, there we go. Okay, brilliant. Right, so I think in theory we can actually move our troops right up to their borders. Because we do have an agreement with Spain for military access. Skill 2 artist. Yeah, let's get him. I need the prestige, and I wouldn't mind having the advisor. So he's going to be a cheaper... Oh right, sorry, I was thinking he was diplomatic. Right, so that's going to be this guy, the stability cost modifier. So he's 828 at the moment. Oh, we're still playing 828, so he must have been cheap as well. Is that right? Looks like it, I'm afraid. Okay, fair enough. Haven't gained much from that, unfortunately. Trade efficiency. Yeah, definitely 1 + 2 at the moment. We still need quite a lot of money. Speaking of which, I'm going to build a university in Lisboa. And I'm also going to check on that trade fleet we were building. This is only 5 ships. And of course they're probably going to start hiding when the war starts. Which is going to be annoying. So we'll go on Malacca for these. So I'm still telling them to hide when the war starts, just to be on the safe side. Really shouldn't, but you never know, maybe France has an enormous fleet somewhere. Probably going to decimate our own Atlantic fleet. So I think we will put them there by the channel to cause issues here. Excellent, we do have military power, that's brilliant, military technology. So France is 21, we're 21. I'm going to get Spain to join in, and let's do it. So, naturally very nervous about this. Wondering whether to split our armies or whether to combine them into one. I might leave them split, even though they're going to have to combine, I think, for this. Oh no, we can take this land at least. Power of... oh, that's good. Recover Navy morale speed. That is good, that will be helpful. And yeah, in theory, I mean, I'm basically going straight for France here, so I'm kind of counting on our other nations to deal with their allies, which are much smaller. But we do have a lot of colonial nations on our side in theory, so there goes France into Spain. I'm deeply hoping that Spain will actually fight them for us. The generals are much better, if nothing else. If they don't, I will have to recall my armies and head back. This is one advantage we do have here, being Portugal. In theory, France has to fight through Spain to get to us. So, Spain has a lot of motivation to fight back. I mean, at the moment, their army is just sat in Madrid. Hurtful trade policies, well, we do need to support them, so let's do that. Okay, fair enough. Obviously Spain is not going to be that keen to help us, because we are... well, they're going off us more and more because they want our provinces. They want our subjects' provinces. So let's see, France has got much better generals. 3-star general. but their army is actually smaller, oddly enough. Spain doesn't seem to be fielding much of an army. It might be because they don't like us much. I am not sure. No, we can't do that. Right, fine. I'm just going to take this castle then. So, not keen to actually fight the French army if I can possibly avoid it, but realistically, someone's going to have to fight them. And if Spain isn't willing to do it, then I suppose we might have to. So we're technically abandoning the siege now, because Spain has insanely gone to attack this French army, and they were going to get slaughtered. This may backfire on us horribly, but yeah, I've abandoned the siege because we really, really needed our full army here. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. We needed more help from Spain. So possibly I should have left them to get slaughtered like they pretty much left us to get slaughtered. But hey, to be fair to Spain, it is our war rather than theirs. I really hoped we might have had a chance there. Who's this? Pretender rebels. Well, that's great, but oh, good grief, we're going to end up in a fight with them now. That's... I mean, seriously, our morale's really low. So even though in theory we would normally beat them easily, we might actually get slaughtered. Plus, I'm not that interested in fighting Spain's pretender rebels. Okay, I think Spain may be getting the better of this deal. On the plus side, at least we don't actually appear to be losing, and Spain's much keener to join in this time. Right, well, can we try to go and break the French army? I'm not sure I really fancy our chances, but... oh, good grief. Right, okay. Change of plan. Castle fell too soon. I don't really feel like we have any chance without at least a castle on our side. I mean, they've already beaten us, basically, so... it's just not going to happen, is it? Okay, so here's an interesting problem. Oh, no, we can send a colonist here. Okay, that's fine. Let's colonise Hopi. Hopi? I'm just going to try and take some French land at risk of them attacking us again. I'm not entirely sure what else we can do. We're running low on manpower. Oh, there's the Spanish army. Right, so are they attacking Ferrara? I mean, I'm not entirely complaining if they are. At least they're doing something useful. You're going to have a lot of discontent in our population between France and Malacca. Yeah, so this is interesting. So we've got another chance with a castle. Could be our last chance to beat the French. But do we want to take that chance? Because they still have an absolutely massive army. I mean, this is huge. I'm seriously thinking we should be hiring some mercenaries. I have a habit of not favouring mercenaries, and I think it may have been a mistake on this occasion. So what have we got? That's a decent sized army, that's a decent sized army. They've both got some leaders. This one is independent, doesn't have any kind of leader. Well, let's go with this one. They're not actually attacking, are they? I'm not being funny, but Spain is turning suicidal lately. How on earth did you expect to win this one? Do we have any chance at all? Realistically? Should I actually turn around and leave Spain to their defeat? You see, Spain isn't even launching in now. I'm certainly not going in without you. Alright, so they're nowhere near to falling, so that's fine. Not happy about the fact that you're apparently doing a runner, but I'm going to bring my mercenary army over as well. It will hopefully have time to gain some morale, and then we're all going to attack. And if Spain wants to join in, that would be appreciated. But we're going to hopefully have the castle on our side, and we're going to take the French by storm. Is the plan, and I'm just hoping this mercenary army isn't going to make paupers of us. I think we're still gaining money actually, so maybe we could afford another one. Right, well that's fine, but we are still gaining money. Not too concerned just yet. Peace offer from Ferrara. Excellent. Yes. I certainly want a peace offer from Ferrara. No question there at all. Right, brilliant. We have all our mercenary armies. I'm going to attempt it. This may turn out to be a mistake. We've got a castle on our side, we have a mercenary army on our side. It's probably our best chance to beat the French. Holy cow. Right. I don't think I realised how high I actually had the speed turn up then. I wasn't expecting it to go quite that quickly. Right, we're going to try and take this castle back. Spain has started on France, which is brilliant. The mercenary army I'm going to send back to start taking back Spain's lands. Brilliant. So that should turn the entire war around, I hope. We're still blockading them. That's good. Apparently they're blockading us, which is less good, but I don't think I can really afford to find out where that's happening right now. Alright, Antilles. Well, really, all our colonial nations should be able to deal with that. This looks good. Yeah, it looks like our colonial nations have utterly crushed their colonies. Ferrara has given in. This does look good. This looks very good. Okay, let's start taking some more land. If we possibly can. I'd like as much land as possible to actually belong to us. Their interests are ours. I'm going to lose mercantilism in the interests of keeping the peace. Diplomatic reputation. Could have gained manpower instead, but as things stand, papal influence or prestige. Might do the papal influence actually. I do still have a lot of use for papal influence in terms of money. So a lot of the peace offers we're being sent are just money, you know, but I do not have an issue with that. We can use the money, and more to the point, it means that France is being isolated, which is what we want. So in theory, Mossy should be willing to make some kind of peace. Ooh, nice. I think that's known as vassal feeding. They've actually increased the size of both of our vassals. That is brilliant. Okay, cool. That'll come in handy later. Right. Wonderful. Right, so we've made peace with Mossy. So I think there's only Friesland who isn't actually part of France now. So they're still fine. So in so much as we can, we want to utterly crush the French, because we want the best peace settlement we can get. We're hopefully going to give Spain as little as possible. But right, we actually have room for a couple of manufactories. I know I need to be building universities, but the manufactories will increase our money, and they do take a long time to build as well. So brilliant, this has actually gone quite well. I was pretty worried to start with, especially when we lost that big battle at the beginning, but I think we're now in a fair way to utterly crush France, which is good. Still wondering just how much to screw Spain over. I'm very conscious that our alliance cannot hold, so we really can't afford to help them in any way. Plus, I'm not sure what we got out of our last war. Oh, we got much. I think we might have left early, to be fair, so we probably got something. Oh boy. Right, come on. The French army has reappeared out of nowhere to make our lives miserable. I was not expecting that. Pretty darn unfortunate. Oh, for crying out loud, guys, why do you keep losing? Seriously, I think our entire army just got crushed. Wow. Okay, so that went a bit wrong. What can we get at the moment? Stuff all, by the look of it. Right, okay. That went horribly wrong. I'm not entirely sure why our army was utterly destroyed rather than... That is amazing. They just decimated our army in no time at all. Right, okay. Right, the only peace we can make is a white peace, so I'm more or less counting on our allies now to take them down. Spain, to me, still looks extremely powerful, So it's whether Spain decides to pull out. If they do pull out, we're going to have to make peace immediately. But we do still have a lot of colonial nations who should at least be able to take these lands back for us. I've just realised that part of my army was left behind, which was exactly what I was saying about leading a navy that can carry all of our troops. Oh, I see. Okay, well, let's go and save Carbu. Right, so Spain. Any chance of you doing anything here? Let's keep the colonies going. Or should I cut my losses and go for a truce before it becomes a horrible defeat? We should still be in a position to hire some pretty nice mercenary armies, to be fair. What are our options? Okay, we've got a local one with no general. We can't? Oh, I see. It's quite high. Quito, that's fine. It was not technically our problem. Okay, France is fighting Spain. I really wish I could help. Honestly, at this stage, I'm just going to be desperately trying to rebuild our army. There's nothing more dangerous than having really low manpower. It affects everything about how other nations see you. Right, it looks like France is now winning hard. And we've lost our ability to gain a simple white peace. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. We are seriously in trouble. Okay, great. So, what's next? Well, we could smell at our colonial nations. Obviously, we're trying to build our army back up frantically. We can hope that Spain will actually do something themselves instead of just making peace, but I have a horrible feeling that Spain will happily just ditch us. So, we might be in trouble. We've got very low manpower now. To be fair, I mean, France has probably lost a fair bit of manpower as well. Let's see. Maybe when France goes to take one of Spain's castles, Spain will actually fight back. Really could do with a mercenary army as well, so we should probably save some money up. It's not like we don't need manpower now. Oh, brilliant. Gain some administrative power. Well, that's something. Little bright spot, you know. Alright, let's head out to Burgos. I want to be a little closer in case Spain decides to attack France. This is unfortunate, but we really are not in a position to deal with it. In fact, let's reduce war exhaustion. It might help. Quitoan separatists. Okay. Half wondering if I should even join Spain's army. So what are we dealing with here? We've got around 80,000 troops. Spain has 91,000 troops. So they're still in a position to completely crush the French, should they wish to do so. So I might just try and keep pace with Spain. We're obviously going to be completely doomed if Spain pull out, but Spain may still see this as an opportunity themselves. There's a lot of French land that Spain would love to have. So if they're at all inclined to attack the French, good. Then we should definitely join in, throwing what we can on their side. Right, let's split EU up and start freeing up our lands. Down here. Okay, I'm going to go here, join our armies together. Alright, apparently we're leaving. That's fine. Oh right, let's join in. Doing an attack. I don't know if this counts as crossing a river, but it looks like they're committed, so fair enough, let's go for it. I really hope we win this. Great. Got a self-sustaining colony. I'm so happy for you. Oh boy. Wow, this is going to be close. But we won. Good grief. I'm not sure I can take many more of these. Okay. Right, I need to find this Poso place now. Right, we've lost a general, that's fine. It wasn't the general we were using. Right. Apologies for butchering the pronunciation, as I so often do. Okay, we'll send these troops down to protect this colony. So, right, so we've defeated the French army a second time. I'm hoping that they're slowly going to be running out of money. So, in the interests of that assumption, I'm going to see if we can get another mercenary army. Who is this? We can just about afford them. Not saying they're huge or anything. Oh no, sorry. How about these people? Not as big. Independent army, can't afford the initial cost. Free company, again. At least these guys come with a general. No, can't afford them either, okay. Oh, they're not within range as well. About the Swiss Guard. Too expensive. It's this initial cost that's getting us. Right, I think we're going to have to wait a little longer. Maybe try to get the Swiss Guard if we can. Oh, these are all showing us Portuguese. This is good. Right, maybe we should stay close to the Spanish army, because I won't be surprised if Spain has one more attack left in them. At least I know the Swiss Guard should be somewhere nearby. Actually, how about we try and improve relations with the Commonwealth, just in case there's a chance they will agree to join in later. Also, is there any chance we can make peace with Friesland? Doesn't look like it, but I can try. No. Unless we offer them something, maybe. Okay, right. Well, at least we're back on top now. If only temporarily. Here they come. And then back on their way down. Free Swiss Guard, 852.41. So the company is even more expensive. Oh, great. Okay, brilliant. Right, so here's a possible concern. They may be planning to double round and attack us. When do we gain this land? Soon, but is it soon enough? I can't afford to not be next to France. Spain, I mean. I can't afford to not be next to Spain. Because our army is probably quite tempting for France to just give them a little leg up. It's certainly too small for us to realistically fight them off. I may just follow them. Sorry Spain, but if you're going to leave tiny bits of army lying around. So the advantage of taking the land is that, of course, they'll lose income. So they'll hopefully be less able to afford to pay for mercenaries and replenish troops. So it's not even so much that we're trying to take land from them ourselves at the moment. I don't really care if it's our land or Spain's officially, because I don't really even want any French land. I don't think I've got any claims on any. I know Spain would probably like some. But, okay. Oh, we've lost our military advisor as well. Right, so we want a really good military advisor. Unfortunately, we don't have an option of one, so let's do morale of armies, which will at least help us a little. New, more stable currency, I can do that. I will instantly follow through by increasing our stability. This is not a time at which I want to have low stability. Right, so the French army now, I mean, they're still fielding 65,000 troops-ish. We have a decent chance of being able to hire a good mercenary company again. Can we get the Free Swiss Guard up here? Oh, we can! Brilliant, because that's officially our land. We can actually get them to appear in this location, which is fantastic. So that should allow us to... I still don't think we're in a position to fight France off. Very worried that Spain split their army. I think that was a very bad move on their part. France has been a bit more canny, you see. Alright. Looks like something might be cooking up here, so... I'm not sure I can afford to have a mercenary army here. But then, do we have a choice? We really need to help. So, however bad the morale is, let's try it. I'll try to settle it, lose diplomatic power. Honestly, got bigger problems right now. Come on. Grief. No, we've all lost. That's unfortunate. Right, I think I'm going to have to just accept that France is more powerful than I thought. Why peace? going to white piece it. I'm upset about it. Really had hopes that we would achieve something there. Let's get rid of a Swiss guard. We don't need them now. But seriously, we're really struggling in a way that I did not think we would. So yeah, that went horribly wrong. We really lost out. I'm guessing, not sure, but I'm guessing. Oh no, it was a white piece. So we shouldn't have lost our alliance with Spain, I don't think. Spain still kind of likes us as well. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just... Oh, we're still fleeing. That's the problem. Sorry. I was thinking we couldn't get through Spain's lands to our own lands. But the problem is actually that we were in full retreat from that battle. Yeah, well, that was disappointing. There you go. There was me thinking France looked really weak. We could just take some colonial lands from them. But they managed to pretty much single-handedly fight off us in Spain. To be fair, France usually is a massive European power. But they've seemed quite weak this game, but obviously not as weak as I thought. Tarasan. Yeah, sure. I don't mind. Obviously not tremendously keen right now. I'm being dragged into yet another war. Right. Hang on, that's workshops. Manufactories. I still need 2 more manufactories in theory. I also need more universities, so we've got 2 there. We could build another in the... Wondering if we'd be better off. Okay, I didn't actually mean to build one there. So thanks for that, control system. Gosh, this is going well. Right, I mean, it's not a bad place to have one because it's relatively well developed. I might have preferred to have one here because it's more central, but never mind. It will still allow university to start spreading. Right, great. So, okay, so that went disastrously wrong. Not disastrously. It could have been much, much worse than it was, to be fair. But it's quite disappointing. Didn't see many of our colonial nations showing up as they usually do. I know they had to fight France's colonies themselves, but they pretty much stomped over them quite early on, so I'm not really sure why they were having so many problems, why we didn't see any of them appearing over here. Maybe they were doing something I wasn't paying attention to. And Spain, I didn't think made the best decisions. They did some suicidal attacks on France. I joined in the first one, which was a big mistake. But at the same time, we weren't able to defeat France with Spain. Without Spain, that became rapidly obvious, and I was constantly terrified that Spain was going to suddenly pull out of the war. So we're now in a very dangerous situation, actually. We've got low manpower. Our armies are way below our force limit, so we actually need to improve our armies very quickly. I think our next attack is probably going to be on Kilwa. I think I'm going to have to give up on France, try to keep Spain as an ally if we can, and we're going to need to build some strong African armies. But before we can do that, we're going to need to get our manpower back, which is going to take a lot of time. Also, we need to keep an eye on our war exhaustion because we've been pulled into another war by Spain, which I didn't want, but at the same time I do want to keep them on board as an ally, even though I'm not happy that they're probably going to get more powerful now through this particular attack. But it can't be helped. So anyway, I've gone quite a bit over because I wanted to finish the war with France. It's, yeah. So I think that was more an idea of what not to do when you're playing EU4. But yeah, there you go. At least we got a white piece. We didn't lose any colonies because of it, at least. And yeah, France, always think carefully before attacking them. They're extremely powerful. Probably should have got more mercenaries at the start. I need to think more in terms of mercenaries, because we do have a lot of money. And in theory we should be able to afford them. But not to worry, we should be growing all the time in terms of our military technology. So once our army has recovered, and to be fair, we will gain more money as our army recovers, because one of our biggest costs is our army. So that's something. But yeah, we really should be improving our army as our primary concern for next time. Just setting off some relation improvements. And yeah, I don't know if we'll ever attempt France again. Maybe we'll give them another go at some point. Maybe we will have to try to start burying the hatchet and making peace with them. Because I'm concerned that Spain may come for us at some point. They actually like us quite a bit at the moment. But there's still this minus 200 because they want our subjects' provinces, which is going to make it very difficult to stay in a good relationship with them. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, for now, this episode was basically a failure. Tried to take France, could have got them to probably, if we'd have gone really well, relinquish all their colonies to our colonial nations. They would have grown immensely and we would have been in a much stronger position for whenever things blow up with Spain. But as it is, we've had to accept a white peace. We've gained absolutely nothing. We've lost terrible amounts of people. Our army is utterly reduced. We've spent an awful lot of money, probably far more than we gained from the people we made peace with early on. So yeah, it's a shame. But it happens. Fortunes of war. So you just have to roll with the punches. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. At least we had that last bit where we got ahead again and were able to just get a white peace. We didn't lose anything. So yeah, hopefully things will go better. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.